undermine Trump's peace agreement by convincing Zelensky not to take it. But in other words, they want to tell Daddy how great he is. At the same time, they're trying to sabotage what he's doing. I mean, this how long can this go on before Trump responds? Do you think do you see some escalation coming this way?
Yeah, I see. You know, this can spin out of control very fast, very fast. What I see happening is that Trump is going to use the tools of divide and conquer. There are certain European nations that can't live without the United States. Poland. Poland is not going to walk away from the United States. Germany has already made a strategic decision to walk away. So in the short term, I think you're going to see the transfer of American assets out of Germany into Poland or back to the United States. But I think you're going to see the United States divest itself of Germany. This is fundamental. It's the end of NATO. The United States is already, if you notice that Marco Rubio didn't attend the NATO ministerial, it's the kiss of death. The other thing that's happening is that we are beginning to pull out of some of the foundational, you know, infrastructure of NATO, logistical planning, communications. NATO can't have a large scale military exercise without the United States involvement. We're not going to be involved. We're going to start to withdraw a whole bunch of critical support to NATO while we still be in NATO. We're just going to tell the Europeans, you gotta do it. And Europe can't do it. Europe doesn't have logistical infrastructure that can unify Europe. They don't have a communications framework that can unify Europe. They were relying on the United States for this forever. And so then as Europe starts to collapse, the expense of sustaining NATO without the United States becomes prohibitive. And nations are going to opt out, especially when the United States offers them bilateral security arrangements. And this is what's going to be the end of NATO when the United States moves away from collective security. And we already have. Scott Bessent made it clear that if Russia attacks NATO, we're not going to come screaming in with troops. We'll be willing to sell you some equipment. Maybe. That's it. Of course, that's all that's required under Article 5. People haven't read it very closely if they think that it automatically requires us to send troops in. But we're done with that. So we are getting to a situation where if a European nation behaves irresponsibly and provokes Russia and Russia attacks it, that there isn't going to be a collective response by NATO because NATO can't collectively respond without the United States. And we're opting out of that. We view Europe as an irresponsible entity right now. So I think you're going to see us making individual bilateral security deals with